I'm Bethany. I'm coming to you from my home, my new office in Redondo Beach, California. It's not too bad here. I can see the ocean right out my window, and I'll be joining you there soon. But first, let me introduce you to the rest of my family.
Hey, honey.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Say hi to Wash U.
Hello, Wash U. My name's Reed Eanes. I graduated from Olin Business School in 2007, and I've been living and working in Los Angeles since then. Married my college sweetheart, Bethany, who I'm speaking to right now, and we have two wonderful daughters, aged 3 and 1.
And where are you working right now, literally?
Well, I work for a company named Lockton. I'm a corporate insurance broker, but I am currently working from home in my home office in the room right next to you.
It's true. Reed brokers insurance from our guest room, and I teach yoga from our bedroom. Welcome to the new normal in our house. How did you like living in St. Louis?
I love St. Louis. I love the people I met there, including my wonderful wife of 10 years, almost 11 years now. But I definitely did not love the cold weather. Being warm-blooded Floridian, the St. Louis winters and I did not get along. I love living near the beach. It's obviously in the name, but especially for the kids, it's been awesome just being able to get outside, ride bikes, play in the sand, play in the water. Wouldn't give it up for the world.
Thanks, honey. Is there anything else you want to say to all of your Wash U alumni network?
Just that they're lucky to be getting some wellness and yoga coaching from the best in the biz.
Aw, thanks, sweetie. I'm going to come give you a kiss from the next room.
I'll take it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bethy's special yoga in the virtual workplace workshop. We are so excited to have you here today joining us. I actually am coming from freezing cold Philadelphia and wish that I was in balmy Redondo Beach, where it's 64 degrees right now. First, we're going to go over a few housekeeping items, then I'll do a quick introduction of me, then Bethy, and then we will get into the juicy part of this amazing workshop. So thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be highlighting the work of Bethany Eanes from Redondo Beach Harbor. Please note that the chat feature will be on so that you can communicate with the panelists as well as all of the other attendees. And I think it should go without saying that everything should be appropriate. Pretend that your mom's in the room if you have a question. So thank you. We will not tolerate any inappropriate behavior. We also have WashU staff joining us today in case you have any WashU related questions. My name is Melissa Page Peter. I graduated from WashU in 2005 with a Spanish major, business minor. So exciting, but really, I think I graduated in social chair more than anything. And I met Bethy at my time at WashU. She's been fabulous. And has been a very dear friend ever since we graduated. So this event is part of the WashU West Coast Push. So we are doing a Discover the West Coast series and seeing how people, WashU alums, live, work, and play. WashU has been a wonderful experience for Bethy and her husband, who are both WashU alums. And now they have made Redondo Beach and LA their home. We are so excited to have a little bit of this nice warm weather to bring us back to, for all of us who are joining from different parts of the country, it's nice to see a beautiful day there. I do want to share a little bit about Bethy as a person. I interviewed a few of her friends, so you can get to know Bethy beyond her yoga workshop. I did a little then and now describing Bethy. So just so you know who you're dealing with and how professional and amazing Bethy is beyond this yoga series, I just want to share a few insights about her character. Back in college, Bethy was very much the life of the party, hilarious. She was a very outstanding writer and historian. She was an integral part of Wake Up WashU, which was our, if you were around in the 2001 to 2005 5 time frame, you might have caught us on weekday mornings. It was our morning show. She was brilliant, bound for glory, loved to have a good time, super clever and talented. Now she's added to her repertoire of character and is holistic, balanced, inspiring, a superwoman who's able to take calculated risks. She is she's always tricep dipping somewhere on a bench, enlightened, thoughtful, and is just a wonderful friend. Many of us are avid readers of her Yoga Harbor email newsletter, which often helps us to decompress. So you can see that Bethy is a very well-rounded and fully wonderful person to be leading this workshop. So without any further ado, I'm going to let Bethy take over. Enjoy.
Thank you. That was so wonderful. What a treat to get to see your face. Welcome to Redondo Beach. I see in the chat comments that many of us are in cold weather places. I'm from Pittsburgh. My husband, as you saw, is from Florida. I know what it's like to get to February and be just over it, right? And we're all feeling the weight of the virtual workplace as well. Even here, where the weather's gorgeous, we feel the drag of the lack of social interaction, the lack of movement, just by taking away our workplace. And often I know we're working from ergonomic positions that aren't ideal compared to our workplace. I want to stress that with the work that I'm doing today, this is something that you can do anytime, anywhere. I'm going to recommend you keep your office chair. We're going to do everything seated in a chair or on the ground. People of all abilities should be able to follow along. I also want to stress that the more we make wellness this sacred practice that has to happen without interruption in ideal conditions, the more we keep it as a tool for a luxury tool for people who have the time, income, and flexibility to do that. Wellness should not be a luxury. It should be available to all of us, regardless of our situation, simply by claiming the right to our own health. And I'm here to help you do that today. I know we have a couple of questions already with some nagging physical items that feel like they're interrupting the joy that you're finding in your life. So if you have anything that's bothering you, please put it in the chat. I'm going to try to address what I can so that we can all feel a little bit lighter and have some tools to move forward. That said, I'm going to change over to my yoga setup so that I can be with you guys from there. All right, here we go. So a couple of things I like to go over to begin with. First and foremost is I don't love when I see people in super cushy office chairs that hold them in a very protected posture. I really prefer a really simple chair, and I like to advocate that we just sit toward the end of that chair and get in a really nice upright posture. Right? The more we're supporting and holding our own posture, the less we're going to have that back pain and the less we're going to have issues with our hips. So if you're in a chair, scooch toward the end and get yourself that beautiful upright posture to start with. Now, I know we had some questions about wrist pain, so we're going to start right there, and it's a perfect place to start. Begin by grounding your feet firmly wherever you are and really feel that connection like you're wearing 2 roller skates and they're pressing down into the earth, and then lengthen up from there. Take a moment, just let your arms fall wherever they fall. I always tell my girls to make their arms like spaghetti noodles. So just let them fall down. And especially if you're used to working in an environment where you're looking down at a computer or a screen, it's really important to take the back of your head and line it up with the back of your spine, right? We'll start there with a few simple breaths. There's nothing specifically you have to do with your breath, maybe just becoming aware of it for the first time today. And let it drop as low as you can into your belly. If at any point today you feel like you can't pay attention to your breath, then that's your sign to just stop and check back in with your breath. It can be a safe harbor for you on the loneliest and worst of winter days. Yeah, let's take one more breath together. And then I'll introduce a very simple breathing practice that you can take anytime. It's called box breathing. And if you imagine, we actually have these beautiful square windows, so we'll use them as a visual. You can imagine the four sides of these windows. And as you inhale, the inhale is climbing up one side. We'll pause at the top for the length of the top. We'll exhale down the other side and then pause at the bottom, so that all four sides of our breath are about the same length. So as you're ready, let all of the air go out of your lungs. Take an inhale for the count of 3, 2, 1, and pause. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1, and pause. 3, 2, 1. I'll let you guide yourself through that a couple more times to your own pace. If 3 feels appropriate, stay with 3. Otherwise, you can take a longer or a shorter count. Good. Finish whatever round you're on. And on your next inhale, interlace your fingers, bring them into your chest. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, press your palms away from you, round your upper back, and really stretch your fingers here as much as anything else. Try to push evenly through your pinky fingers and your pointer fingers. Then on your next inhale, reach up tall overhead. And as you exhale, just release. Let those arms become noodles again. Good. We're going to look for the 2 bones on the upper arm and then the fleshy pocket in between. So we'll start with left hand. Use your right thumb. Find that fleshy pocket between those 2 bones and simply push energy from your elbow down out your fingertips. Right? We'll just take 3 of those presses on this side. Find that pocket, push, and release energy down. This is a really simple massage technique you can do several times a day when you're working at your computer to release some tension from your wrists, especially if you're experiencing carpal tunnel or any arthritis in that area. Then pause and reach your left hand forward. Turn your palm away from you and your fingers down. Take your right hand and just gently pull on each finger, again, moving from the center of your palm toward your fingertip. Just giving a little stretch. Try to keep your fingers spread wide. They're going to want to bunch up as you do this, as you move away from center. And last, take that same right thumb to the palm of your hand and just draw some circles from the fleshy part of your thumb up towards your pointer finger. Stretch your whole palm back, your whole hand down. Release that side. So that was probably 30 seconds of work, and just feel the difference in your 2 forearms and your 2 wrists. They probably feel remarkably different right now. We'll move on to side 2. So reaching your right arm forward, find your left thumb, find that fleshy pocket, and it's about 3 presses down. The amount of pressure is totally up to you, but we never want to move toward a place where it's unsustainable or where we can't breathe. And then again, fingertips down, palm forward. Try to relax your shoulder as you do this and just draw energy from the palm out through the fingertips. From your pinky all the way to your thumb, and then you're finding that pocket of flesh on your thumb and just pushing away a couple times. And finally, stretch your wrist in each direction. Spread your fingers, spread your palm, and let your arms hang like noodles. So that alone is something you can do every day to give yourself a little bit of relief for that tension in your wrists. The more we relieve the shoulder tension, the more we'll also feel relief of tension in the wrist. So let's focus on that now. Inhale again, bring your hands into your heart, interlace your fingers. Exhale, turn your palms away, round your upper back. On your next inhale, reach tall. And as you exhale, bring your hands back behind your head. So we're taking a little cat-cow in the chair here. I'd like to take the pinky fingers right underneath that ridge in the skull. As you inhale, imagine you're leaning back into your hands like you're leaning into a hammock. And then as you exhale, let your elbows come together like butterfly wings and round your upper back. Don't pull on your head, just let that extra weight change the sensation for you. Inhale, open up. And exhale, round. Just take a couple more rounds. Maybe you even find your box breathing here. Nice long breaths to open and pause. Nice long breath out to round and pause. And come back up to neutral. Reach your arms tall. And you'll reach down and grab a hold of the seat of your chair. And if this feels like enough of an opening for your chest, you can stay right here. Otherwise, you can reach back toward these sides of the backrest and open there. And if you want even more, you can bring your hands up on top of the backrest of your chair and open right there. Drawing your chest forward, but be aware of really overarching your low back. See if you can keep a more neutral low back as you open up. Feels very necessary for me right now. It's true, I am always tricep dipping on a bench somewhere. So I need things like this. Take one more breath. And release. Good, we're gonna open up the side body a little bit. So you'll turn sideways on your chair. Take a nice wide space with your feet. Place one hand either on your thigh or on the back of your chair, whatever feels natural to you. And inhale, whichever hand is by the seat of the chair, reach it out and up and then over. And just pause, and you might start to lean against the backrest and use that as support. You can stay here, or you can bend your elbow, bring your hand behind your head, and take a few breaths here. You're just trying to get as long as you can from your sit bones all the way up through your elbow. As you release, come back up to center, turn toward the back of your chair, grab it with one or both hands, and just rotate your chest towards your chair. If you're pregnant, let your hips kind of shift with you, or if you have any major low back issues. Otherwise, you can continue to let your hips face the side as you rotate. It might feel nice to circle out your head and neck here. If you want to add like a little cherry on top of your twist, you can gaze over the side. Take one more breath. And come on back to center. And we'll actually take a nice wide position through the knees, facing the front of the chair. Scooch toward the end of your chair. If you're on a Zoom call, you can sit like this. No one will ever know. This is a beautiful position for your hips. It's much more functional for most of us, especially women, especially pregnant women, much more functional to sit in this position. You can bring your hands to your thighs right here. Take a big inhale, peel your chest open. And as you exhale, you just dip that chest down between your legs. So you can start with your right leg and move over towards your left leg, then round your shoulders as you come up. Inhale, big open chest, and exhale, we'll change directions. Dip from the left over to the right and around your chest as you come up. So just go side to side. And one more round. Circling down. If you get some pops out of your hips and back, great. Rounding up. And we'll turn to the opposite side. So you guys will get a look at what this looks like from the back. Feet at least hips width. Take a big inhale, whichever arm is facing the seat side of your chair, you'll reach up. And as you exhale, just lean. You can lean against the backrest. And maybe bend your elbow, bring it back behind your head, and just keep leaning. A couple breaths. Press down into the sits bone of whichever hip is away from your backrest, right? Toward the seat position. And take one more breath here. And then rise up, unwind, reach your arms to the sky, and start to twist toward the backrest. So I'm gazing out over the beautiful sunshine, glittering off the ocean. It is truly gorgeous, and I'm feeling the warmth of that sun on my skin. That's probably not your position right now, because that's not the position that most of the world is in right now. So if you are feeling cold, if you are stuck inside, as much as possible, just try to appreciate what else is there, right? So the cold might be there, the gloom might be there, but your breath is also there. The energy inside your body is also there. There might be a pleasant aroma in your home, or the sound of your children laughing, that might also be there. Unwind back to center, and we'll turn to face forward again. And this time we want our feet about hips width distance, with feet pointing mostly forward. You can hug your left knee into your chest for a moment, grab your left ankle and place it on your right thigh. So you might have a knee that's pointing up quite a bit, or you might find that your knee is a little bit more horizontal with the floor. Doesn't matter which one, right? Just go to the level of sensation that you need. Take a big breath to lengthen your spine, and this alone might be enough, or maybe you start to fold toward your left shin. We'll take about 10 breaths here. As you all breathe here, I'm going to take a moment and just check in to see if there are any comments or questions. Continue to breathe on your own. Okay, looks like we're good. One more breath. And as you sit up, just start to let your left knee fold down over your right, like you're sitting in a chair, because you are. Take a big inhale to grow long. And as you exhale, you can use the seat part of your chair or the back of your chair to rotate your chest into a little bit of a deeper twist. If you're pregnant, you'll actually just go the other way so that your hips are more open. 2 more breaths. And coming back to center to unwind, we'll change sides. Right ankle to left thigh, sitting up nice and tall for a moment. You can wiggle your butt back a little bit and start to fold in. I'm trying to take Melissa's advice and only say things that my mom would be comfortable with, but my mom is a lot more uptight than I am. She's often embarrassed by the things I say. I think butt is okay though. Fold in as much as you can. So one of the tricky parts of wellness in our modern world is it often does become a form of gaslighting, right? Like, oh, it's cold, just change your mindset and you'll feel better. Oh, you're tired of COVID, find gratitude, or whatever it might be. One more breath. And then come on up. And again, we'll take that cross-legged position and come into a twist. In a true mindfulness practice, we don't really ignore any of those negative sensations, feelings, or experiences that we're having. They're part of our reality, so we just acknowledge and embrace them. Take one more breath here. Good, and then come back to center. We'll come off the chair and turn to face it. So you want a fairly stable chair. If you don't have a fairly stable chair, then you can just do this on the ground by taking a lunge on the ground. If your chair is fairly stable, take your right foot and place it on the chair. And you're remaining rather upright through your hips here. First thing is just another twist. You got to twist so much when you're stuck in an office chair all day. So bring your left hand to your outer right thigh. If you're pregnant, you'll just lengthen and rotate a little bit. If you're not pregnant, you can lengthen and rotate a little bit more. This is a beautiful place to be. Hang out right here. Let your bum come back behind you a little bit so you're not putting pressure on your low back. Couple more breaths. And unwind back to center. Your right foot's going to stay the same. All you'll do is turn to face so your left toes point away. Now your right knee is pointing toward the back of your chair. Your hips a little bit more open. We'll take a couple of simple squats here. So you can just bend down with your left knee and then straighten. So you're just opening up your pelvis a few times here. And once you feel nice and grounded, you can place your right elbow on your thigh and reach your left arm up overhead, or bend your elbow to place your hand behind your head. Or you can reach for the back of your chair. That might feel nice. Or you can reach for the seat of your chair, and that might feel nice. This position with your left arm is going to open into the left side of your rib cage a bit more. If it feels better on your shoulder to let your left hand kind of hang down, that's cool too. And pause and breathe. And your head can hang in its own weight or stay more upright. That's up to you. A couple more breaths. Last breath here. And release and rise up. This is a nice warrior two position with your chair. And hands to hips, release, set it down, and shake it out. While we're here, we'll take a down dog at the chair. So you want to stand far enough away that you have to reach forward. This is like a pretty flimsy, not too stable chair. So I'm going to be mindful about what I'm doing and only put a little bit of my weight onto it as I let my chest sink down. If you're too far away, if you're too close, you'll know, adjust your body as needed. If you are in a chair with wheels, don't do that. You can come to the wall and do the same thing. Take a few more breaths. Last breath. And come on up. And we'll take the other side. So left foot on your chair, find your nice upright position, but mostly over your heels. Take a big inhale, grow long. And as you exhale, start to rotate. If you're pregnant, you'll just rotate a little bit. If you're not pregnant, you can rotate a whole lot more, especially if you're free of low back issues, and just open up. Stay with your breathing. So in a true mindfulness practice, we acknowledge whatever discomfort is there, whatever issues, problems are there, and then also invite in any other experiences. One more breath. And unwind. You're just going to take that right foot and turn it open. So you're in that nice open position. We were taking a few squats here. Just kind of settle in. Find that position. Once you found it, left elbow to thigh, hand to back of chair, or hand to the base of the chair as your right arm reaches up and over. And you're welcome to bend your elbow, place your hand behind your head if that feels really nice. So this is going to stretch side body a little bit more. That's something I almost always need. And if you're working from home, stretching the side of your body is integral to feeling good in your chair. Or you can release your hand down by your back if your shoulder just needs a little bit more rest. A few more breaths. Rise on up. Feel your nice standing warrior two right here. And release and come down. I'm going to take that down dog at the chair, on the chair again. This time I'll give you the option. If you want to come to the upper part of your chair, please do. Otherwise, you can also come down to the seat of your chair. If you happen to have the space and you want to take a down dog on the floor and that's something your body is capable of, you can do that. Otherwise, use your chair. I actually love doing down dog on the chair, it just gets me a little bit more into the sides of my body. And you'll notice I'm narrow enough, right? My feet are not too far away from my hands. I'm also wide enough. My feet are wide enough left to right to support my pelvis and hips. You can stay like this, or you can place your right hand on the seat of your chair, bend your left knee, and reach your left arm down to grab a hold of your right leg anywhere that you can. And again, if you're on a chair with wheels, you'll want to do this at the wall. And you can do the exact same thing at the wall, just reaching down here. Take about 2 more breaths. I know this isn't the most simple position to hold. I'm just checking in with you. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. Rise on up and release. Let's walk it all the way in and just shake it out. And then we'll take side 2, finding your down dog again on your chair, at the wall, on your mat, whatever it is. Left hand comes to the seat of your chair. Right knee can bend as your right arm reaches down and through. Couple of breaths. And then unwind, rise up, shake it out one more time. We'll take one standing posture. You're welcome to use the support of the wall or your chair as we take a balancing pose. As you're ready, bring weight into your right foot, turn your left toes out to the left, and place your left foot on your lower right leg. You can stay like this. You can keep your toes on the mat if that's better for you, or you can bring your foot to your upper leg. Settle in and breathe. This pose has more mental benefits than it does physical, although it's great for physical support, especially as we mature as individuals. Our joints get a little looser, so this work is really helpful physically. But the mental benefits are explosive here. Take one more breath. Release, set it down, shake it out. Helps with balance, focus, and concentration. So helps us feel more regulated, calm, and centered. You can have your kids do this before they get on a Zoom call with their class, right? You can do it before a big meeting. It's basically a way of shortcutting our brain circuitry to a more central place. Last breath here. All right, and as we wind down this practice, because I think I'm running out of time, I'm gonna give you a couple options for some final poses. So the first one, you'll sit in your chair and you can take an upper back opener like we've already taken. And if that felt really good, there's really no need to change it. If you're pregnant, this might be a better option, depending on where you are in your pregnancy. But you might feel good taking our next variation, which is a little bit of a deeper back bend. So if you'd like to come with me down onto the ground, if it's comfortable, you can sit on your heels. If that's not comfortable, you can place like a blanket, a bolster, a block between your heels to sit on, but we're not going to be here long. All I want to do is demonstrate where we're going for you guys. So you'll want to come into a place where you feel that chair, the seat of the chair, on your low ribs, right? And from that space, you're just leaning back. You can hold on to your chair. So this is a really shallow chair. If yours is not quite as shallow, you might feel like you can rest your head on it, but mine is so shallow that my chin's going to tuck into my chest. And you can reach up behind you and hold on to your chair. You can bring your hands behind your head and rest your head in your hands and just open up into that chest area. It's a very supported, what we call camel pose. Couple more rounds of breath. And I'm going to come out of this position by setting my hips down and using my hands to supportively walk up. If you're on the chair, come on down off of it. As long as it's okay for you to be on the ground. If not, you can turn sideways in your chair and take the same side bend we already took. Otherwise, if it's okay for you to be on the ground, come to a kneeling position and place the side of your chair toward the left side of your ribs. You're gonna reach your right arm up overhead and grab either just to the back of your head or maybe on the side of the chair, and just let yourself rest here in a little bit of a deeper side bend. Walk yourself up and start to rotate your chest toward the chair. You can sit off to your left hip and let your knees stagger and just begin to rest down. This is a beautiful position to take in place of any twist that was offered in today's practice. You can hang out like this. Safe for all bodies, including pregnant bodies. For those of you who feel like you want a little bit of opening in front of your hip, you could reach back, grab your foot, and kick your foot into your hand a little bit and open up the front of your hip and quadricep as you're here. And take one more breath. We'll release this side and come on to side two by simply taking your knees like windshield wipers over to the other side. So in the first variation, my knees are a little bit more stacked, my hips are a little bit more stacked, and I'll start to just lean, right? In whatever way feels good to you. And second position is more of a twist. So we'll rotate toward the chair and hang out here. Or if this is feeling like you want a little bit more opening for your hips, come back and grab your foot. And then release this side. So my friends, you can sit in your chair as we close out our practice. If you are working on a meditation practice and you are comfortable sitting on the floor, you can sit on the floor. A chair is a really nice thing to have here, and you can just bring that back of the chair at your lower to mid ribs as a reminder to sit up a little bit taller through your spine. And all you're doing is coming back to your box breathing to the degree that you can right now. And as much as possible, just take a moment and notice whatever is there. Acknowledgement of any sensations, including any sounds, scents, the temperature of the air on your skin, anything you can see either with your eyes open, if that's more comfortable for you, or behind your closed eyes, if that's better. Notice any of what I call sticky sensations. So these are the things that just keep coming back, that seem to grab a lot of your brain waves. And see if you can allow these to be a little bit more fluid, to come and go a little bit more freely. Sometimes it helps just to say, that's a sticky thought. It keeps coming back. That's me thinking. And what you may notice is that the longer you sit, the longer you send your radar out, the more it will start to turn inward, just on its own. The more you'll start to notice the sensations very near to your body or even within your body. Some may be pleasant, some may be unpleasant. That even that labeling of pleasant and unpleasant isn't necessary. You don't have to seek out pleasant sensations. You can just be with whatever is there. Take a few breaths to yourself wherever you are. And this is the point where you just have to choose where you're going from here. So if you're leaving this presentation to go back into your workday, you'll want to invite yourself into a little bit more awareness. If you're leaving to go take a nap, you can stay fairly low in your body. I often liken coming out of meditation like walking down a staircase. So if you started with a level 10 alertness, awareness, or sensitivity to your environment, and you walked down maybe 2 steps, maybe you walked down all 10 steps, you're in a very restful place. You decide how much you need to come back up. We rarely ever need to be at a level of 10 alert. So bringing yourself up just to the level that will allow you to function as needed through the rest of your day. And the second thing I like to do here is plant what I call a mental post-it note. So think ahead to the day. Imagine any time when you might be kind of thrusted into that super alert state, that super agitated state. And right now, just resolve to pause when you get there, take a few rounds of box breathing, and climb down just a few steps. You will remember this practice. You will remember to do this later. And as you're ready, move your body, wiggle it out. You take your head side to side, shake your fingers, brush them over your thumbs. And get ready to take on your day. Couple of things I want to mention before we go. First of all, I'm extremely grateful to the amazing Portofino Hotel here in Redondo Beach for their support. This is, I got the comment there. Yes, this is a common room. This is the ballroom. So if you're looking for a beautiful venue to come hang out for a conference, or they do really intimate outdoor weddings, hit up the Portofino. They're awesome. Great place for a little staycation if you're nearby, right here on the water. I also want to mention that tomorrow you'll be receiving an email from the panelists here with a short survey. And also in that survey is a link to my on-demand channel. I have a program called Wellness in the Virtual Workplace. There are 4 videos in a PDF of the stretches that we did today. They'll be complimentary to you as a thank you for your attendance today. So you'll get that link and a promo code so that you can have access to those things as you leave us today. I think that's all from me. Anybody have any questions, anything we didn't address? You're very welcome. If anything comes up, let's see. Yeah, hip flexors, such a good question. We all need to open the front of our hips. Posture alone is going to be one of the biggest things. So especially as women, or those of us in like female bodies, we tend to be programmed to try to take up like little narrow spaces with our bodies, right? So we like hug our legs in, we crisscross our legs. And the more you can allow yourself to take up the space that your body needs, the better your body's gonna be. So come toward the edge of your chair, spread your knees wide, let your pelvis hang low, wiggle out through your hips and take up room. That's gonna be the biggest thing you can do to feel comfortable in your pelvis and back as you work. The stretch we did at the end, grabbing a hold of the leg and opening up the front body is great. I also highly recommend taking walking breaks throughout the day. Walking with long strides is going to be one of the best things you can do to bring yourself to a state of functional health in your hips. My pleasure, everyone. Thank you so much for the comments.
Bethy, thank you so much. This was so needed and wonderful. I know that I personally loved learning about the box breathing. That really resonated with me. And also, I plan on using the spaghetti noodles with my son Tom Tom in the future. So thank you again for this wonderful, this great midday break. All right. Thank you again. And at this point, it looks like all the questions have been addressed. And please remember that tomorrow you'll be getting a survey with information and links to Bethy's Yoga Harbor so that you can get more access to some of her stretches along with the promo code. And really thank you for everything. Please also follow the yogaharbor.com so you can stay up to date. I'm telling you, these newsletters are really, really good. You definitely need to subscribe. Also, there will be more WashU West Coast events coming up, so just keep your eye on those. And thank you for a wonderful, relaxing little break.
Yeah, and I want to take a moment before she leaves and highlight Melissa, who didn't say enough about herself, who's coming from the East Coast and owns and operates now three amazing Spanish language immersion preschools called Mi Casita. So yeah, follow back to Melissa for those of you who have young ones, and check her out, see what she's doing.
Well, muchas gracias for that. We're just a big old ball of fun entrepreneurs, aren't we? All right. Muchas gracias y adios. I think.